Alright, first and foremost, I want to say Kalalal, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, Bashem Kodash, the honors to the elders and apostles of Graham Stone, and salutations to all the brothers that's pushing this work in all sincerity and in truth. I'm the brother Yahya from the James Kingston, Jamaica camp, here with another quick lesson, and this one is basically to reveal who the wicked is, which is the so-called white man, as referred to it in the Bible. His name is Esau, right? And show you some of the strategies or methods that he uses to basically go forth and deceive the nations, as it is mentioned in the book of Revelation chapter 20. Let me just get that. Right. So this is the book of Revelation 20. And verse 7, and said, when the 1,000 years are expired, because the so-called white man was basically removed from the position of power within 300 AD. Understand? Approximately there about 300 to 325 AD, thereabout, going forth into the time of the Renaissance period, which is known as the rebirth. The Renaissance period occurred within the 1400s, roughly thereabout, with the rise of the Borgias family, right? So when it says, and when the 1,000 years are expired, that was talking about the fall of the so-called white man from his position of reign or power. So the 1,000 years were expired. Satan shall be loosed out of his prison, and shall go out to deceive the nations which are in the four corners of the earth, Gog and Magog, to gather them together to battle, the number of whom is as the sand of the sea. So it says, and shall go out to deceive the nations, right? Let's look up that word, deceive. Right? So it says to cause to stray, to lead astray, lead aside from the right way, right? So he does this based on his means of psychology. He studies human, what do call it, the word, let me see if I can find the word, pronounce it properly, right? Anthropology, right? Which is basically is the study of humans, early humanids and primates such as chimpanzees. Anthropology study human language, culture, societies, biological and material remains. So due to studies of anthropology and psychology, he has been able to implement certain methods that causes humans to go astray, causes them to basically be ordered in a way that he wants them to go according to his agenda. One of the ways that he did this was through the Willie Lynch method of making a slave. So what happened in time of 1712 was that the Willie Lynch actually came forward with a method of how to break slaves into the mindset of being submissive to their masters, which is the so-called white man in the time of slavery, right? Break them into being submissive due to segregation, right? And as it basically is a divide and conquer method, because what was happening at the time was that the slaves were basically causing a lot of uprisings, which causes losses of stocks and so forth. Understand? Causing the slave owners to lose profit. So according to him, let him say, if installed correctly, it will control the slaves for at least 300 years, right? So he said he would use fear, distrust and envy for control. And when you look in our society right now, you can see that these things are things that are at play even up till now within the nation of Israel, between amongst our people, right? And it tells you that that's actually a part of the curse, as it is mentioned in the book of Deuteronomy 28, verse 54. It says, so that the man that is tender among you, very delicate, his eye shall be evil toward his brother, and toward the wife of his bosom, and toward the remnant of his children which he shall leave. Right? So due to these psychological implementation amongst our people, he actually caused that curse to basically be put in effect. What he actually did was he used um, traits such as age, color, shape, intelligence, size, sex, actually use general location of where slaves dwell, use the differences between ear type and height and so forth to cause as a means of segregation, right? Because according to him, distrust is stronger than trust and envy is stronger than adoration, respect or admiration. So he put in place a means of distrust and also envy, because he actually put in the mindset that if someone is taller, they're actually better than those that are shorter. If someone is of a fairer complexion, the fairer complexion that is classified by the so-called white man is of being of a lighter complexion, right? That person would actually be better than someone that is of a darker skin. Understand? So, as it said dark skin slaves versus the light skinned slaves. And they basically put the light skinned slaves above the dark skinned slaves because those slaves were basically in line with the master's complexion, right? And they actually implemented within the white servants and overseers distrust of all blacks, right? And basically put the psychology of the slave to basically trust and depend on only the white man. So those things were things that play throughout the Willie Lynch era. And this was one of the way how they actually deceived our people in believing that we are less than what we are. Because as scripture tells us, yeah, we are the salt of the earth. You see, the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, Indians, those people are the people that are chosen by the Heavenly Father, and we are the salt of the earth. But because of the psychology of the so-called white man that he has put in place to brainwash our people feel as if they are less than who they really are, right? And you can see different aspects of these things playing out, and that's how you know that the so-called white man, which is his biblical name is Esau, he is the devil. Understand? He is a deceiver that the scripture speaks about, right? Let's get some precept. This is the book of Job, chapter 9, verse 24. It says, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? Right? If it isn't Esau, then who is it? Then who it is it, man? You understand? Because Esau, the so-called white man, fits the build of the wicked in all essence, man, in its perfection. Right? Malachi 1 and 4 say, whereas Edom said, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, they shall build, but I will throw down, and they shall call them the border of wickedness, and the people against whom the Lord had indignation forever. So Esau is classified as the border of wickedness, basically meaning that wherever Esau dwells, wickedness resides, man. And his whole mindset and agenda is to promote wickedness on the face of the earth, to suit his own means, to suit his own covetous and greedy means, man, to gain what? Dominance, to basically be as if he is God. And that is why he is basically bringing forth the mark of the beast, which is the horrified Egypt, to gain another level of control over humanity. You understand? That is how you know how that the so-called white man, who the so-called white man is. And that was part of his character. Let's get that. This is the book of Genesis 25, verse 27. And it said, the boys grew, and Esau was a cunning hunter, a man of the field, and Jacob was a plain man dwelling in tents. So Esau's cunningness was to basically be a hunter, how to deceive, how to trap, how to corner its prey, right? So you can see that the traits that are these traits that are being portrayed in today's society is in correlation to the so-called white man. The white man is the one who are putting forth these traits of deception, these traits of being cunning, right? To basically subvert the minds of people in a way that is not morally correct. You understand? Because having our people being against themselves, that is not morally correct. But guess what? It suits his means, it suits his agenda. You understand? So, and there's a lot of things that you can read up within the Willie Lynch method of breaking a slave, which I'm going to post in the description box if you're interested to read it. But for the duration of time and to make the point as succinct as possible, I'm going to move on to another method that he used, which is another divide and conquer method that he used, which is the feminist movement. Right? Now, this is an article that states woman quits job to look after husband because men should be spoiled by their wives. Now, it is baffling to me that this is actually being paid so much attention as it is today in media, because this thing is going around like wildfire, right? As if it is abnormal, right? This is what's supposed to be. This is the norm that is supposed to be according to the instructions of the Bible, because the Bible tells you in the book of Titus, right? Let's get that. Titus chapter 2 verse 3, the aged women likewise, that they be in behavior as becometh holiness, not false accusers, not given too much wine, teachers of good things, that they may teach the young women to be sober, to love their husbands, to love their children, to be discreet, chaste, keepers at home, good, obedient to their own husbands, that the word of God be not blasphemed. These are characteristics of a what they call now righteous woman, according to the standards of the Bible. And when you read this article, this is what the lady Katrina Holt is basically demonstrating. She's demonstrating that she wants to live a life that was of the 1950s. Seeing that it relates to the 1950s, because in those times women were more keepers at home. Seeing they were the ones who basically maintained the household in terms of wash, cook, clean, taking care of their husbands, right? And she actually wants to play that role. But when you read some of the comments on it, it is basically some form of controversy, as if this isn't supposed to be the norm. And that is what Esau portrays in the mind of people, that what is normal is actually abnormal to today's people, right? And you can see the benefit that they gained off of this what do you call it now, method of implementing the abnormality of this in people's mind, right? Now this is a video from
Rockefeller.
Aaron Russo, basically telling you directly what the feminist movement was about. Stay tuned.
I had a friend, Nick Rockefeller, okay, who was one of the Rockefeller family, and he, when I was running for governor in Nevada, he came to me, introduced himself to me through an attorney, and we became friends. We started talking about things, and
Be specific about when you met Rockefeller, how it happened in these discussions.
I met Rockefeller through a female attorney I knew, who called me up one day and said, one of the Rockefellers would like to meet you. I had made a video called Mad as Hell, and he'd seen the video and wanted to meet me, and knew I was running for governor of Nevada. So sure, I'd love to meet him. And I met him, and I liked him, and he was a very, very smart man. And we used to talk and share ideas and thoughts. And one of the things they told me was that he was at the house one night, and he would talk, and he started laughing. He said, "Aaron, what do you think women's liberation was about?" And I said, I had pretty conventional thinking about it at that point. I said, I think it's about women having the right to work, getting equal pay with men, just like they won the right to vote, you know? And he started to laugh.
Right? And that was the deception that they portrayed in the minds of people. You see, as he said, as Aaron Russo said, he had a very conventional way of thinking about it. You see, that women should be equal to men. You see, and they have a right. That was what they portrayed to forward the movement of women's liberation. But as he's going to state the real agenda that was behind that.
I said, you're an idiot. And I said, why am I an idiot? He said, let me tell you what that was about. We, the Rockefellers, funded that. We funded Women's Lib, you know? And we're the ones who got all over the newspapers and television, the Rockefeller Foundation. He says, and you want to know why? He says, there were two primary reasons. And one reason was we couldn't tax half the population before Women's Lib. And the second reason was, now we get the kids in school at an early age. We can indoctrinate the kids how to think, which breaks up their family. The kids start looking at the state as the family, as the school, as the officials, as their family, not as the parents teaching them. And so those are the two primary reasons for Women's Lib, which I thought up to that point was a noble thing. You know, when I saw their intentions behind it, where they were coming from when they created it, the thought of it, I saw the evil behind what I thought was a noble venture.
Aaron, did you know that Gloria Steinem, in one of her own books, now admits the CIA funded Miss Magazine?
No, I had no idea about that. No, I never heard that.
Yeah, we're going to...
CIA funded Miss Magazine?
Funded Miss Magazine with the stated goal of taxing women and breaking up the family.
No kidding. I never heard that. Well, Nick told me. I mean, I know it, but not because I know the CIA was involved in it.
Well, Gloria Steinem was proud of it. Oh, the CIA wanted to help women.
No kidding.
So they funded it, yeah. And of course, it's divide and conquer.
Right,
and
of course.
What they do is
You know what I said? Of course, it's divide and conquer, which is exactly the same thing that they did in time of slavery, man. They divide the household and conquer them, man. Once the family is not united, they are easy pickings, man. Easy pickings for the prey, right? And just an example that once you're divided, they are easy pickings for the prey is the scarling, right? The scarling is a bird that does a thing that they call murmuration, which is to communicate with each other in a flock that they move in a unit. You see, it's a defensive mechanism that they use to protect themselves. You see, so the way out to catch them is to catch them as singular. You see, to focus on one. And the so-called white man did that in the time of slavery by basically operating on the so-called on the Negro woman, which is an Israelite woman, operating on her mind to basically get her to switch the roles of the male and the female characters. Switch the male from being independent to being dependent, because she was the one that had control over the offspring, man. You understand? So what happens in the woman lib is basically similar. They gave women more power to rule over the household, to basically feel independent, right? So that they can basically disunite the family without having a proper head to guide them, man. You understand? Because the man is supposed to be the head of the family. And once they did that, they destabilized the whole entire family structure. And that's why you can see that there was actually an error for the destruction of the nuclear family. As according to this article, the end of the nuclear age. And I'm going to post this in the description box as well, man. You understand? And that is why you're not supposed to trust the so-called white man, because all that is in this man's mind is wickedness, yo. The scripture tells you in the book of Psalms 58, say, yea, in heart he work wickedness. He weigh the violence of your hands in the earth. The wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies. All the lies that they promote, that guess what? This is for our benefit. This is going to be good. This is going to cause a development of the human race. Is all lies, man. Because that's what they forced down the throat of women during the time of women liberation. Therefore destabilizing the whole entire family structure. Removing the men from the household so that it can tax more than half of the population. You see this wickedness of the so-called white man, the powers that be. Their poison is like the poison of a serpent. They are like deaf adder that stop it her ear. Right? Verse Psalms 55, verse 21. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords. His entire mindset is to basically promote deception through subtlety. Right? Micah 2:1. It says, woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the power of their hands. So when morning rise, morning, noon, and night, the so-called white man think about evil men. You see? For what? Psalms 36 verse 2. For he flattered himself in his own eyes, until his iniquity be found to be hateful. The words of his mouth are iniquity and deceit. The words of the so-called white man mouth is all about iniquity and deceit, man. Zine, he had left off to be wise, because according to this article, where is this article now? This article says something interesting. It says, nobody with the interests of society at heart would try to divide men and women. You understand? Just showing you that the CIA, through the Woman Lib movement, whole entire agenda was to what? Demoralize, alienate, and divide Americans. They say Americans here, but this thing perpetuated through the entire society, man. You understand? In Jamaica, they have the same mindset of being segregated through the family. You understand? In America, mostly through Latin America as well. You understand? This thing has perpetuated throughout the entire family structure of most nations throughout the world, man. That's why in the book of Revelation it tells us he shall go forth to do what? To deceive the nations, man. See, it said the elite operates by fostering division and conflict in the world. Understand? In the world. See, that is what they do. And when they do that, they basically leave you unprotected, leave you to be a prey. See, that's why in the book of let me see this. Ezekiel 28 verse 3, it says, behold, thou art wiser than Daniel, there is no secret that they can hide from thee. With thy wisdom and with thine understanding thou hast gotten thy riches, and hast gotten gold and silver into thy treasures. See, that is what the so-called white man do, man. Through his wisdom, which is not really wisdom, because if it was wisdom, understand, see, it would be for the unity of society. You understand? But it's wisdom in wickedness. That's what the so-called white man is all about. Wisdom in wickedness, man. See? This is the book of Proverbs 16, verse 28. A forward man soweth strife. Esau is a forward man, yo. And a whisperer separated chief friends. Right? A violent man enticeth his neighbor and leadeth him into the way that is not good. Enticed what? Which neighbor? Enticed the women within society and lead them into a way that is not good. Remove them from the position that they are supposed to be, which the position that they are at is a very integral position to the unity of the family. Understand? Yeah, and that is what the so-called white man did, man, through the woman's liberation movement. Just showing you the wickedness that the so-called white man is about. See, I think I'll have another precept. Let me find that quick and fast. I think it's book of Proverbs 6, the 12 there. Alright. Proverbs 6 and 14 said, forwardness is in his heart. He deviseth mischief continually. He soweth discord. Right? The so-called white man is all about divide and conquer. Right? He devises mischief continually. That is all that is in the so-called white man heart, man. See? So that he may capitalize off of the destruction and the segregation that he promotes within society. Right now he's actually promoting LGBTQ. You see the confusion that is being caused, the uproars, and basically the segregation that is happening. See, but nevertheless, it's all for the good in the end, because this is going to be destroyed, man. The society is going to be destroyed. Thus say the scriptures, yo. See, and with that, I think the point was made, yo. See, Esau is that man of sin, and through his means of deception, through divide and conquer, he has basically gained control over the minds of majority of the people in the world, yo. See, I mean, if it wasn't for the good graces of the Father, there would be no flesh left to be saved, because this man will continue to perpetuate his mischief and sow discord till nothing upon earth will be saved, man. You understand? And with that, I hope that the session was edifying unto the elect of the nation of Israel. I want to say Kalalal, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, Bashem Rakar double honors to the elders and apostles of Stone, and salutations to all the brothers that's pushing this work in all sincerity and in truth. Shalom.